in the Villa, Ottley Ajoa and Edgar Ajoa. Are they here still? Trustee Smith?
Good evening. Ooh, come on, good evening. This has been such a lovely way to spend an evening. And we could not have had this evening if it were not for these. I'm coming to them.
Okay.
If it were not for these two people. So you know the saying, it takes a village to raise a child. It takes the Ottleys to help make this happen.
So on behalf of the Frederick Douglass Memorial and Historical Association, we want to present the certificate to you with commendations and words from our president.
Well, it's an absolute pleasure. You know, some partnerships are forged because people decide they have common interests and they can exchange values. Some of these partnerships come by happenstance. And I happen to believe that this relationship has been divine because we picked Michelle James. Did she? Michelle, come right up here. Come right up, please. Michelle stumbles across a lot of very good things, good deals, and come stand. And it was Michelle who was coming from some event, and she stumbled across the Ottley Music School, and she went inside and she called me on the phone. You've got to come over. Now, meanwhile, I live an hour and a half away. But she said, you must come over and meet the Ottleys and see their school and the wonderful things that they have done and that they are doing in the communities in Virginia, Washington, D.C., and Maryland. And of course, I came and I met them and we spent a wonderful evening. But what was so wonderful is they have so much history in their school. And then we found out they have such an eclectic group of people with whom they work and with whom they share not only music, but history. Mrs. Ottley is a genealogist. But that's not the, as well. And an author. I hope you all bought some of those books out there. But we could not have done this program this time without them, because whatever happened, they communicated and helped make it go forward. And even at the last minute, I had sent this program. I think it's important to take time to see what God does, because there's always a ram in the bush. But the thing is, this program I sent to Staples, and they started running it. And then on Wednesday evening, I received a text that they weren't going to be able to finish it in time. And at first I turned to Vivian, of course, because I don't know anybody else that works as hard as she is at this time of life. And I say that with such admiration. I don't want to even go over her schedule this week. But what did happen was I told Mrs. Ottley, I said, I don't know exactly what I'm going to do. Before morning came, she sent me an email that I'm going to try to get these done. And before that evening, they were done. And I said, well, send me the cost. I hope you don't mind me saying. And she said, none. And I sent it back to her, and I said, as in zero? Because these would have cost us a pretty penny if we had had to do it ourselves. But I am just so grateful, and I just have to say it, for the love and the spirit of partnership that indeed manifested in this case. We talked about doing some more work in the future. Well, I'm just going to say it. We hope that we put it in on the ether waves that a lot of things are happening. We want to have a Frederick Douglass orchestra, not FDMHA, because we know nothing about music, but our Violins for Douglass young people would be the young candidates that we would love to have join such a body. And so I'm begging for finances to do this, but with their instruction. But the love that they generated is not just for us. They were awarded a wonderful community service and education award from another organization just 2 or 3 weeks ago. But they never said to me, "You're too late." They never said to me anything that was that would suggest in any way that they didn't want to participate. They loved this idea. They loved Violins for Douglass. And they structured the audition for us. I must confess ignorance on that part. I didn't know we needed to do an audition. You know, last time we just put a name in a hat and then we go into a school and, you know, so that's what we did. But this time it became a little more sophisticated. And so we had wonderful juries. And I asked Dr. Leslie to stand because we needed another evaluator along with Trustee Smith and myself. But 2 people were suggested to be the third wheel. Somebody had no real information about the process. And it was a struggle. And so for these young people today who were not the winners, what I want you to do is to keep in touch with us. Who knows? Money may arise, you know, but anyway, this is the Ottley. I just thank you so much. I've been inspired by you. I have every intention of working with you independently, and I hope that the FDMHA will forge a great relationship with you, and you're wonderful in the community. And Michelle, I thank you for your fine. You've had several fines. Edward Marchi is in here, still here. Our web designer, and okay, yeah, that's the truth. It's time to you. Thank you. I just wanted to say that.
I need to say that it was Michelle attended a recital, a flute recital at our school that one of our new teachers had, which combined her students and ours. And it was on a Sunday afternoon, and then she walked through. And next thing I knew, she brought Mrs. Jackson. And as far as the programs are concerned, I looked through the programs, and this wasn't just D.C. It was D.C., Montgomery County, Prince George's County. So I called Prince George's County Park and Planning, and I said, we have a problem. And I see Gillis' name in here, and I went through the people that you have on the board, Prince George's. Can you do this for us? And she said, yes. This is only God. Only God. Because they don't do things that are done in D.C. They only do PG, but PG was all up in this. And they realized that the combination of us made this happen. So they were very glad to do. So I can't take all the joy myself. They allowed us to do this. And I'm really grateful, and I'm grateful to you too. This is going to be big, you all. I started reading up on Frederick Douglass, and I hadn't read before. He was with Tom Jones, was his name? In Harper's Ferry, what's his name? The one who got killed? Yes, and he had to leave because they wanted to kill him too. But he was very much into our being free. And if he was killed, then his word wouldn't get out. And he was so upset when he was in Europe that he felt himself, the sun had left him. He saw a violin.
John
Brown, that's right, I couldn't remember. He saw this violin in this shop, went in and he played it for 3 days straight, he said. Then God sent the sun back into his life. And he used to play the violin, wherever the house is, for his kids. He would stand in the doorway of each room, and we've been to the house. And we sing the violin. I told the Doshans, get it off the top of the piano. Get it restored so we can play it. It's an 1891 strap, look-alike strap. So it's not something to be, yeah. But he used to stand in the doorway of each child and play for them before they went to sleep. Can you imagine your dad doing that just before you went to sleep? Each child, and that place has a lot of rooms. There were a lot of kids. And then it came down to the grandchildren. We have been blessed because it's now come down to us. Take all the advantage.